Okay, this is an unboxing video and a mini review, I guess. And there's a clue to what figures these should be. They're in this box. So I bought these on eBay on Sunday. I won one, and then the next one was the same character. This character here, but the vintage figure. And the seller had two. They were on auction. Originally I bid on a Lebot figure, a Spanish figure, and I lost that. So I saw this one coming up next. I've always wanted a Skeletor vintage figure, so you know, I had to go on that. Won that one, and that was the original version. You know, because he's such an iconic figure. Oh, great. So I picked this up as well, this album. Just let me check it's the double disc version. This version should have the... It's a 1986 album. Yep, double disc. So I got this on Amazon, great price. So you get all the remixes there. 1986 album from Germany. Brilliant. Got for great price. Cheaper than eBay, cheaper than... This is the cheapest on it. I think this was Amazon. So that's good. Oops, knocked the figure down. And then we got this one to open. So yeah, as I was saying, the next one was the Battle Damage Armor He-Man. So it was like no time to decide, either go for it or just stick with the vintage one, the first issue. So here we are. This He-Man keeps falling over. I mean Skeletor. And these two are Skeletor. Oh gosh, yep. So there we go. There we go. So this is what I won. So we'll start with this one. This is the first issue of Skeletor. Maybe not the first, because the first version had half boots and a different coloured, but still a classic figure. It's graded 80. Brilliant, what a classic figure. That's what prompted me to get the Origins one. I was in B&M and I saw they had these. So grades are figure 80, paint 85, 80% overall, Skeletor Series 1, 1982 Taiwan COO. Brilliant piece. Very glad of that. And we can compare him with the Origins He-Man. As you can see, the vintage has a much better paint face deco. Both by Mattel. Havoc Staff. Sword of Power. This should just be half of the Sword of Power, yep. Should say Taiwan at the back. Maybe, maybe not. But cool figure anyhow. Very cool. So we're going to have 3 Skeletors. We're going to have the Origins, the first issue 1982 figure, and the Battle Armor. But they do look rather snazzy together. This one's got such great articulation. His blue is a lot more vivid than on the vintage figure. The blue is brighter on the armour. His is more got a purplish tinge to it. But what a great figure set. And then the second one I got, because I had to decide whether to go for it because the auction was ending about 2 minutes after the first one, so it's no time to dither. So I got the Battle Armor Skeletor, or Battle Damage, and he's Series 3, 1984, also Taiwan. He's graded 85. Both subs are 85. He comes with a Havoc Staff, the same sword. Yep. Very cool figure. So these are probably the two main Skeletor variants you want to acquire. Brilliant. So quite a lot of Skeletors, 3 of them there. Let's lower the camera. Let's change the angle of this one. I mean, they just look so good together. So, you know, it was like whether to get the second Skeletor, because I definitely wanted the first iteration, and, you know, it's just such an iconic figure, the main villain, the equivalent of Darth Vader, and so, yeah, I had to get this version. And then I thought, why not get this one as well? Because I've always wanted a Skeletor. Just something about the design is such a classic. Yeah, very nice pair I've grabbed there. So everyone knows the feature on this one, you just hit the chest and you get battle damage, or there's 3 settings, so there's 1 stripe, 2 stripes, and all of that. Brilliant figures though. So those are my pickups. Let's lower his arm. So I've got this book here, it's the Action Figure Thomas Encyclopedia of Action Figures, and it contains information on all different vintage action figure lines, so it's really a useful book. So if I go to the bit about He-Man, there's quite a lot about He-Man. I think that it talks about every figure in the line, and it also goes into the sort of history of the line. It talks about the Federal Commission Communications FCC ruling in December 1983 about the cartoons that you know, about the law prohibiting television shows based on children's toys, and you know, saying the cartoon was just a 30-minute commercial for the toys. But it's a useful book. Mattel had planned a line of Conan the Barbarian action figures, but their marketing staff had decided Conan was too violent and sexual for children's toys, so Conan became He-Man, and Mattel introduced Masters of the Universe in 1981. All figures in this series are bubble packed on cards with the Masters of the Universe logo on the top and the character name underneath. The hero of the series is Prince Adam. I have, the power, Original He-Man action figure and battle armor He-Man are extremely muscular. They're both sculpted with a small waist to emphasize their large arms and legs. Their heads are identical with blonde Prince Valiant type hair and knee-high sandals. Let's go on to Skeletor. Skeletor is He-Man's arch enemy and the ruler of Eternia's sister planet Infinita. He's leader of an army set on taking control of He-Man's fortress, Castle Grayskull. The Skeletor action figure and battle armor Skeletor both have hooded eyeless skulls heads and carry a staff like the original He-Man. Skeletor can throw a punch which, when his waist is twisted, and battle armor Skeletor comes with the same kind of parable armor. Skeletor's body is identical to He-Man's, but his arms and legs are patterned on an icy blue. So that's all this book says about but it's a great book. I got this from America, and yeah, it's really useful. So it has everything: Star Wars, Star Trek, any WWF, any figures from the 60s, 70s, 80s. Yeah, brilliant book. So let's have a good look. We'll compare these two first. Let's lower the camera. Needs to be a little bit higher. 3 Skeletors. So this is the Origins. A great figure, this. You can get it for £10 at B&M store. Such a classic. There's the skull. Brilliant. There's his sword. They've changed the sword on this figure from the initial release. The initial release was like that one, but now it's a complete 2-sided sword, which you can just store there. It's got the black pants, very electric blue legs, quite bright blue for the armour and boots. It's such a great figure, and you can take this figure apart as well. It's just such a classic. So that's Skeletor there, and then we've got this one, which is the graded 80. Such a classic figure. I like the way it's presented in the case. There's the Havoc staff. I think this is an exact copy. Different colour plastic, but still, they've done a great job with this with Origins. And the sword is slightly different now. It's double-sided, and it hasn't got the handle grip thing. It's a different colour. On this one it's more purple colour. But an iconic figure. And then we can look at Battle Armor He-Man. So you can see the battle damage in the chest. Brilliant face paint on this one. There's the sword. This one's graded 85. Such a classic. They're both classic, these two. What a pair. So I'm glad I pulled the trigger. They came to about the same price as that Lebot together, so maybe actually less than the Lebot. So, and it was just opportunistic. It was just, you know, a great time to snag these two because they're both being sold. Let's move that out of Skeletor's face. And at auction rather than buy it now prices. Because I mean, I did look at buy it now prices, and I mean, what the buy it now price on eBay for one of these figures is about the same as what I pay for both. So, you know, I think I did a good deal here. Such a classic. So yeah, brilliant. He looks brilliant, this Skeletor. You see what I mean about his face paint needing a bit more green like these two? But I can see why people are going quite mad about these figures. So he didn't come with this piece of armour, I take it. So that's one difference between the two figures. But they do look cool together. Anyway, hope you like looking at these three Skeletors, the Origins and the two Vintage. They look great together. Anyway, time to stop waffling. Cheers, goodbye.